building positive relationships. Obviously, it's a very important part of everyday life, and just as important in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you
Mm-hmm.
is, what are the foundations to build a positive relationship?
Okay. Well, I love the use of your words foundation and build, because I've put together a little chart here, a little diagram, which is really designed to show how individuals work with others through a process of building long-term relationships. And you'll see it's very broad at the bottom, and then it narrows all the way up to the top. So the first step in building long-term relationships is that of gaining rapport. And that simply means meeting with the other person, maybe for the very first time, and we would perhaps euphemistically call it, do I hit it off with them? Do I feel the chemistry is right between us? What other elements would you sort of put to gaining rapport? How would you sort of judge whether you're in rapport or not with someone?
I think whether you can sense if you connect with the other person in any way from the get-go.
Okay.
Essentially,
Yeah.
if you have a similar interest
Yeah.
or a similar,
Yeah.
just something that you can find as a personal connection.
Yeah. Yeah. So, for example, if you eavesdrop on a couple of people, maybe meeting for the first time, not that I do this, you understand.
Say.
But if you were to eavesdrop, you would probably find them experiencing or talking about those same things, their background, their interests, what they've done in life, common areas of interest. They would also reflect to one another body language that is very much in sync, and the use of words which perhaps are very similar to the other person. So the non-verbals are matched and mirrored as well. And there is a sense that these two people are in concert with one another. They are getting on, the interaction is flowing easily, and the eye contact is good, the facial expression is good, the overall posture, the body language is again very positive. And that's the first step, if you like. If you meet with someone and you feel that you've got rapport with them, then that leads on to the next step, because out of rapport comes what I would call a mutual respect. You know, you don't look down on them, you don't necessarily look up to them, but you feel this is a person on my level that I could be in a relationship with, or be working towards a longer term relationship with. Now, as a result of building rapport, what then happens is perhaps there's another meeting, and that's part of the building trust step. For example, if I arrange a meeting with someone whom I feel in rapport with and they don't show up, then immediately I'm a little bit questioning, if you like, the trust element. So trust on the back of building rapport is, do I say things and do I follow through on those things? Do I walk the talk? Am I confidential when I'm asked to be confidential? Do I display loyalty? I don't talk about the other person in a negative way. Am I concerned enough about the relationship or the potential relationship to take it seriously? And do I really want that other person to trust me? And vice versa. So this trust building piece then goes on as a result of that first gaining rapport and maybe over subsequent meetings. And as a result of that, both parties feel free to share, and that leads on to an open communication. I don't know how you feel, but I'm not going to open up and communicate to other people, you know, my thoughts and my concerns, my challenges, things of that sort, if I don't feel I really trust them.
Of course, yeah.
But if I then open up to that person and I share with them, look, I've got a bit of particular need here, I wonder if you could help me, and they respond to that need, and they do help me, and they follow through, then I'm working at a relationship where I know that we can be not only sharing, but the other person is being responsive, and that again encourages me to take the relationship forward. So response to an open communication is a really important next step. So now we're getting quite high up, because the whole point about building long-term relationships is that you end up in partnership, where there's this mutual loyalty, there's this reciprocity. In a sense, half of you and half of me almost becomes one entity, that we work together so strongly together. We're interdependent, and we will stay in that way because that's the way which we can go through life and benefit one another, and we're in for the long haul. So you can see, really going up here, a number of relationships which you might have or I might have, and we can immediately point to these and say, well, frankly, I'm not even at level 2, I just don't trust this person. Or I have a superficial open communication with the person, but it's really not right.
It's relatable, isn't it?
Absolutely, it relates. And now other people that you might say, well, I'm definitely up here with this individual in terms of partnership and loyalty, because we're so connected, if you like, in terms of how we relate to one another and how we talk to one another, how we work with one another, that that's a reality.
Absolutely, and it's not really possible to get to the top there where it says loyalty without having those things below it, with the rapport, the mutual respect. It makes perfect sense.
And another element to this is, if a relationship starts to break down, it starts to break down top downwards. So somebody does something that shows they're not concerned about that partnership. As a result of that, they become unresponsive to the other person. As a result of that, they clam up and they don't indulge in any open communication. The two drift apart. As a result of that, there's absolutely no trust. And as a result of that, there's no rapport. So it's a very powerful little diagram to show the key elements of building rapport, which I find is very easy to work with and to use both inside and outside of work.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay.